back to the castle, where nobody's innocent, everyone's dramatic, and common sense did not make the guest list. Let's recap the Traitors Season 4. This is kinda unhinged. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another The Traitors video, and we are on Season 4, Episode 11, and it is the season finale. It all comes down to this. So we begin this episode where the last one left off, and we find out that Mark is the one that is unalived. So now we are down to the final 5. And honestly, looking at these final 5, I knew that the Fatefuls did not stand a chance. So after breakfast, there's like a tug of war for Mara's vote, basically. So you have Eric and Rob trying to convince her that Tara and Johnny are traitors, and Tara is trying to convince her that Eric is a traitor. And Mara is honestly feeling torn. She's not really sure who to believe. So we get to the last mission, and these helicopters come out of nowhere, and instantly Mara is like, I want to get on the helicopter. So Alan's like, I need 2 volunteers to get on the helicopter. Obviously, Mara already said she wanted to go, and Rob also went. So in this mission, the other 3 players are on land, and they have to get on a boat and go to these 4 different pontoons that have a chest on them that has a question about the former players. And then in the helicopter, Rob and Mara have key cards with all the players' pictures on them, and they have to pick the correct player and put it on a floaty and drop it down. The floaties have different money denominations on it, from $500 to $9,000, and they have the chance to bank up to $20,000. So while they're in the helicopter, Mara tells Rob that they need to go for Eric. And of course, Rob doesn't want to hear this. So he has to try to steer her back to Johnny. So they got all 4 of their questions correct, and they banked $20,000. And all they had to do was make it back to Alan on land. So they made it back with like 5 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. And Alan's like, all right, I'm going to stop the clock right now. And I'm going to give you guys a chance to double your money. There's another chest here, and all you got to do is get the key card that opens it. But the key card that opens it is out there in the water attached to a buoy. And the only way to get it is to have one of the 2 players in the helicopter jump down, grab it, and swim back over here before the time runs out. So Rob agrees to do it, and he's swimming back, and the clock is ticking. I mean, there's like 2 minutes left, and he's nowhere near the dock. So when he gets to the dock, there's literally seconds left. And I'm holding my breath from the time that he runs from the dock up to the chest, and he makes it just in the nick of time. And they were able to double their prize money. So they got $40,000 for this last mission. So now the prize bank is at $220,800. So just before the round table, Eric and Tara both talk to Mara, trying to sway her vote. And of course, once again, Mara is torn. So when they get to the round table, Eric is the first one to talk, and he says that he feels like he's like the odd man out because Mara and Rob are from Love Island, and then Johnny and Tara are from the Olympics. And then Johnny speaks up, and he says that he trusts Mara, and he thinks that she's a faithful, but he thinks that Eric is a traitor. And Tara agrees and says that he's just way too quiet in this game, and that casts a lot of suspicions on him. And then Tara says, well, when I pressed you in the car, you threw out Mara's name. And Eric's like, yeah, I mean, I've been throwing out names, like everybody does that. And then Rob throws out a theory that possibly Johnny recruited Tara to be a traitor along with him, which is kind of ironic since that's what him and Eric did. So when they vote, obviously we know where all the votes lie except for Mara. Mara is the swing vote. So who is she gonna go with? Is she gonna go with Rob and Eric, or is she gonna go with Tara and Johnny? And ultimately, she decides to go with Rob and Eric, and she votes out Johnny. So Johnny is banned from the castle, and because we're at the end, he doesn't have to go to the Circle of Truth, so they don't know whether he was a traitor or a faithful. So after the round table, Mara tells Rob that she thinks that Eric is a traitor. And Rob said at this point, he doesn't care if Tara thinks that Eric is a traitor or not. It doesn't matter because they've gotten rid of Johnny. And Tara, of course, now tells Mara that she believes that Rob and Eric are traitors. And Mara has a hard time fathoming that Rob could be a traitor. So they get to the end game, and Alan asks them that if they think that all the traitors have been banished from the game, then they can end the game now. Or if they think that there's a traitor that's still in, then they can vote to banish someone until they get down to 2 players. So they all say that they want to keep playing. And Tara calls out Eric again and says that she believes he's a traitor. But it doesn't matter because all 3 of the other players vote for Tara to be banished. And Mara effectively sealed her fate in that moment. So Alan once again asked them the same question, and Eric chooses to end the game. But Mara and Rob both choose to keep playing, and Eric sees the writing on the wall. And he looks at Mara and he's like, ask yourself why you're not questioning if the other player is a traitor. And for a moment there, it seemed like that kind of sunk in a little bit to Mara. And Eric was visibly upset and he felt betrayed by Rob. So when they voted, Mara and Rob voted for Eric and Eric voted for Rob. So Eric was banished from the castle. So now we were down to Rob and Mara, and the game was over. So Alan tells Mara to reveal to Rob if she's a traitor or a faithful, and she says that she's a faithful. And Rob, who's been smirking ever since he double-crossed Eric, says that he's a traitor. And Mara is completely shocked. She had a moment of silence, like she couldn't even say anything. And she said that she felt so stupid because she never even considered that he could be a traitor. And she's pissed. But ultimately, she was not a sore loser. And, she understood that he did what he had to do. And that was it for this episode. So, what do you guys think about Rob winning? I mean, honestly, I think he played a great game. I mean, he was a snake, he was a traitor through and through. So, I think it was well deserved. He fooled everybody. But let me know what y'all thought about it in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you want more Traitors content in the future, then go ahead and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.